everyone, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. We are going to get right into it today. So we are going to be talking about the Gemini New Moon that's happening on June 6th at about 8:30 in the morning Eastern Time. And let's just get into it. I'm going to share the chart. Okay, here's our chart for the Gemini New Moon. The Gemini New Moon's happening on June the 6th. I'm recording this a few days early to get this out a couple of days, 2, 3 days early for you to mentally prepare and to just sort of feel the energy around you. Feel the energy that's happening within your mind and within your body, within your environment, because the effects of a new moon and a full moon can happen a few days before and a few days later. So you'll really feel into this new moon energy, not specifically on the day of June 6th, but within the week of June 6th. The sun and the moon are together, which is representing this new moon, and we have Venus, the divine feminine, sitting with the sun and the moon. So this is a really beautiful new moon to start with. And the sun represents our conscious mind, our vitality, and our energy. The moon represents our subconscious mind, our emotions, and our intuition. One is yang and the other one is yin, and when they both come together, we have a reset. It's considered to be a new beginning or a fresh slate, and it's the perfect time to set an intention for whatever you'd like to see manifest or unfold in the future for you. Now, with Venus here, and Venus representing beauty, harmony, relationships, our pleasures, sensuality, money, and the things that we enjoy and just find pleasurable in general, we can find ourselves setting an intention that involves our ability to connect with others in relationship or connect with our environment in ways that feel beautiful and luxurious and enjoyable. Gemini rules exchange via words and commerce. It rules our thoughts and our perceptions, our observations, our curiosities. It rules information and facts and the gathering of. It is not concerned so much with the analyzing of information, it's just the gathering of information. Think of a toddler that likes to explore the world and ask why. Questions that a toddler would ask are things like, why is the sky blue? Why do I need to eat my vegetables? Why is the grass green? Why do we have to sleep? Why does it rain? Etc., etc. So if you think of a toddler that just likes to grasp the information and then move on to the next topic, then you've sort of understood Gemini. And Gemini likes that exchange. It wants to keep things light and breezy and airy. And in that same breath, Gemini also rules social engagement. It rules the social connections that we have, social engaging in a light and breezy way. It likes to learn a little bit about everything. It's got a short attention span, and it rules options and choices, or the juggling of multiple things at once. If you look at the glyph of Gemini, Gemini has got 2 lines and then 2 lines connecting it. So the 2 represents the twins. The 2 represents having 2 options, red and blue, black and white, right and left, up and down, past and future. There are options that Gemini enjoys. It likes to see things from a perspective that sees all sides. And what's really nice about Gemini is that it doesn't necessarily take a side. It sort of sits back and stays neutral. It doesn't choose a side, it just recognizes that there are 2 sides, or that there are multiple sides, or that there are multiple perceptions, or that there's plenty of information. Gemini can also be very scattered mental energy because there is so much information. There are so many thoughts that flow through their mind. There are so many words. There's so many things to say. There are so many things to think about. There's so many curiosities. The mind is scattered. So this new moon represents a new beginning that combines our conscious mind, our subconscious mind, with the divine feminine, which is bringing awareness and a mental reset in ways of communicating or exchanging with others, and calling on us to lean more towards sharing in beautiful ways or sharing beautiful thoughts, ideas, perceptions, and information. Venus is the planet of harmony and peace, but it is also the ruler of the South Node in Libra, and it is in a trine with the South Node in Libra. This indicates a new beginning which involves shifting and being open to changing how we used to connect, communicate, and exchange before. If there is a goal or an intention that you'd like to set at this time, then the path to that goal is not going to lie in the same path that we used to exchange, communicate, and connect. This path is going to be a new path, and it's going to require a different method than the previous method that used to lead us to where we have been and where we are now. So because a trine is a very easy flowing aspect, the previous and old ways may come up as a default. And with the Sun, Moon, and Venus in Gemini, which is a very adaptable and versatile sign, we are in a mental state where we can observe and recognize these patterns and ultimately change course. We have a challenging aspect that is hitting our new moon, and that is to Saturn in Pisces. So Saturn is at 18 degrees of Pisces, and our new moon and Venus combo is at 16 degrees. And this square represents a challenge. Not only is the square challenging, but Saturn is also challenging in and of itself. It is a very limiting and restrictive planet, but it is also a planet that can crystallize or make something very real. It can take us out of the mental sphere and really ground us into our bodies and into the earth and into reality. So the challenge of Saturn in square with our new moon, or our new moon rather in square with Saturn, is that Saturn can make us feel stuck or limited. It can also bring up fears and doubts. And while in Pisces, these limitations may have to do with perhaps feeling stuck in the past or not having faith in the unknown. Saturn in Pisces can also represent a structured commitment to our faith and spiritual practice. So because new moons are very introspective, this would be a really good time to anchor our scattered mental energy through meditation or a focused practice. Anything that can channel your mental energy into one thing, and one thing that is perhaps creative or that allows you to feel good, such as painting or playing music or focusing on your breath. If you just sit there and you observe your breath and you notice how long it takes you to inhale and how long it takes you to exhale, what it sounds like when you inhale versus when you exhale, maybe even manipulating the breath, focusing on extending your inhale and holding at the peak of your inhale, noticing what it feels like to be completely full on one end of the spectrum, and extending your exhale all the way to the bottom and holding at the bottom of your breath and noticing what it feels like to be completely empty on the other end of the spectrum. Any sort of focused mental energetic practice will be a really great way to get out of the chaos of your mind and allow for mental clarity to ensue or to take over. It's also a great way to get yourself into a mind, body, and spirit connection by channeling your mental energy into something that is creative and that feels good for your body. Another way of being able to focus your scattered thoughts or the monkey mind would be to write out your thoughts on paper. So if you find that during this new moon you've got a lot going on, take pen to paper. Write out all of your thoughts, allow them to flow out onto paper so that when you look at it, you could observe the patterns. You could observe and pick out the thought processes that are perhaps limiting, that are perhaps tied to the past, and that are blocking you from any sort of shift or change. When you observe patterns, you can organize that information a lot better. The ruler of our new moon is Mercury, and Mercury is the planet of communication and exchange and commerce and all of that stuff that I just explained of Gemini. Mercury represents and rules all of that. And it is sitting with Jupiter at 2 degrees, which is a beautiful combination because Jupiter is very optimistic and it is expansive and it is full of blessings. Jupiter has an ability to magnify whatever it is connected to. So Jupiter being in Gemini and conjunct Mercury, which is the ruler of our new moon, we are probably feeling, or we will experience, some sort of magnification of our mental energy, magnification of our thoughts, magnification of observing perspectives and ideas, and perhaps even just delving into a lot of different forms of communication. This is helping us expand our minds and allow more information in. It's helping us to view other perspectives on a larger scale, and perhaps even helping us to take a bird's eye view on things that we would normally feel like we're stuck in the details of. These two are in a really easy aspect, or a trine, with Pluto in Aquarius, which is also an air sign and also rules the mind, or it's the hive mind, where it's the collective mind. And whenever we have a trine, again, it's very easy flowing energy. It's very smooth. It doesn't feel tense. It feels like it just happens naturally for us. And Pluto is the planet of transformation. It is the planet of intensity. It is the planet of breaking down the old, or breaking down something so that we can rebuild new, so that we can transform into something that aligns better for us in the way that we are living, in the way that we are connecting and communicating, with it being in an air sign. So this trine with Pluto is representing a recognition of power, of the power of our minds and the ripple effects that it has on our relationships and our life in general. There is power in our thoughts, there is power in our words, there is power in how we exchange and how we communicate with others. And this recognition will ultimately help to transform how we think, how we speak, how we share, how we receive, and how we do things. Ultimately, how we approach and receive the world. This new moon holds a lot of really expansive power. It has this energetic signature of a really powerful new beginning because of this trine to Pluto, also because of this trine to the South Node, and because it's trining the South Node, it is sextiling the North Node, and it allows for us to set a new intention or start fresh in a space that can help us shift our mental energy. So during this new moon, deep introspection is needed. Deep reflection is needed to, one, calm and focus our scattered mind so that we can organize our thoughts and we can begin to connect to previous ways of how we used to approach the world and what that yielded, so that we can approach the world in a new way to attract what we desire now. So recognizing the past and our past behaviors, our past thoughts, our past communication patterns, and what should be shifted and adjusted so that we can approach in a new way or experience the world in the way that we intend to. And two, recognizing any doubts or limiting beliefs that have become our own self-created obstacles so that we can finally let them go and we can rise above them. We can commit to a practice that is rooted in faith, that is rooted not just in faith, but in faith in ourselves, our faith in our ability to create, the power of our words and our thoughts, and how this has a direct impact on the life that unfolds before us. To think and to communicate and exchange from our most authentic self, regardless of others, is always the goal. And when we honor ourselves and our personal journey, the universe will support. You need to have faith in yourself. So that's all I have for you today. Just to quickly recap, this is a new beginning in our mental sphere, changing and shifting, being adaptable, being versatile in how we think and how we perceive and how we communicate, being able to broaden and expand our mind, and adjusting course so that we can move along a new avenue that will hopefully get us to what we intend to receive, or what we intend to see unfold within our lives. Whatever your intention is at this time, just know that If you keep doing the same actions, if you keep communicating in the same way from the past in your relationships, it's going to yield the same results. If you want something that is new, something that is more evolved, something that is more aligned with who you are now, you need to change course. And this new moon is setting that intention of changing course. It is allowing your mind to focus or channel its energy, or being intentional in the way that you channel your energy so that you can find clarity, so that you can organize your thoughts, so that you can recognize these past patterns, and so that you can find new ways of approaching the world. Anyways, I hope that was helpful, and I hope that you have a really beautiful new moon to come. If this resonated with you and you enjoy my way of interpretation and would like to see more from me, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps to grow my channel, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lunation. Until then, have a wonderful new moon. Take care.